Greetings, everyone. So tonight I want to talk about narcissistic entitlement. Entitlement to me means the narcissist just expects everything. They expect to be catered to. They expect to be kowtowed to. They expect you to break your plans for them. They expect you to pay all the bills. They expect for you to watch the children at all times. They expect you are going to take out the garbage. It's always an assumption about what you are or what you're going to do for them. Which entitlement, it really goes along hand in hand with narcissistic supply. So a narcissist cannot function, they cannot live without narcissistic supply. And narcissistic supply comes in all kinds of different forms, different manifestations, depending upon what kind of narcissist you're dealing with. One thing I think most people who study narcissism or therapists like Dr. Ramani can agree upon is that all narcissists are entitled. The narcissistic boss will expect you, even though you're in a salaried position, they will expect you to always volunteer for every kind of weekend event there is, every time, with no thought to your time, with no thought to your health, with no thought to your personal life, any of that. And if you are around a narcissist that doesn't care if they have a life, they most definitely do not care if you have a life. So one example, like a very extreme example I can think of in my own life, in which I dealt with a narcissistic entitlement scenario. I was going for a surgery. Now, this surgery was somewhat minor. However, it was a surgery. And you know how you do the pre-op and all of that kind of thing. So it was going to be a day, which it was day surgery. But it was still serious because the doctors had to put me out, anesthesia, all that kind of thing. You can't eat, you can't drink, you got to bathe a certain way. And for me, it was stressful, even though I am an extremely tough person. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's just, that's who I am. Well, I was extremely close to going no contact with this person already. It was just a few days later that I totally went no contact. And this narcissist had the audacity to ask me to watch her toddler, 2-year-old, the night before my surgery. I mean, I just remember thinking, wow, if that doesn't show you exactly who a narcissist is, I don't know what to tell anyone, because I already knew that this person did not truly care about my well-being But that said everything. That's okay, you're going for surgery in the morning. Can you watch my child the night before? Oh, we'll get you home early. Wow, that was unreal. So, entitlement, it's actually, when you analyze it and you think about it and you pay attention, it's actually a very unnatural way to be. It's very unnatural. Say you're trying to think of an example. Say you are in a roommating situation and you're the one that has the vehicle and you say, yeah, I'm going to step out for a little while. I need to go get some groceries. They will give you 10 items to purchase for them and expect you to pay for it. Always. I had another situation. I don't actually know if these people are narcissists, but it was definitely an entitlement situation. I will never forget this. Before I knew what narcissism was, myself and my girlfriend, my friend girl at the time, we went out to eat at a really nice restaurant. It was middle of the road, but nice. We get there, we eat, we had a good time. I believe it was Thai. Food, which I love. I think it was Thai. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The point of it is, we ate this amazing meal. And I'll never forget, she's like, girl, you're going to have to pay for my food. Or something like that. I did pay for it, but I just couldn't believe how rude that was. And I never took her out to eat again. It's not even about the money. It wasn't about the money. It was about how rude that was. And put me on the spot like that. Like, well, what would have happened if I didn't have the money to pay for her or something, like something weird. So, they always expect. It's like a strange, and their emotions, like I don't really think they have they don't have the same kind of emotions like we have. Like they sometimes might display what seems like sadness or we know they're good with anger, but they don't feel the same way we do at all. Like if a narcissist starts to cry, a lot of times it'll be because they know they've lost their narcissistic supply. Or their narcissistic mask is falling off and everybody's seeing how nasty they are. And then they start to cry. So they want everyone to feel sorry for them. So it can distract everyone from who they really are. But they always feel entitled. Let's just say you work in the music industry, like you help arrange shows and things like that. So you're around a lot of really cool people, you sell tickets, you do all kinds of things. You organize events, you talk to musicians, you talk to managers, and those kinds of things. And you happen to get some free tickets, which happens a lot. Because of your work. You go over to your relative's house, the big super narc, and then you tell them, oh yeah, me and my boyfriend are going to see, I'm going to age myself, but I don't care. Me and my boyfriend are going to see Whitesnake next week. And we're really looking forward to it. We got these tickets. And then the narcissist will start snooping around and trying to see if they can get some tickets too. It's always, I think, yeah, I was saying this. Entitlement definitely ties directly into narcissistic supply. And I always look at narcissistic supply is what they can get from you, or what can you do for me. It's always like that. And before you understand what narcissism is, you're going to be sitting there thinking, You start to put two and two together. Like if you're not super immersed in the situation yet, if you're lucky, you're going to start to put two and two together, and you're going to say, wait a minute. Why does everything always have to be about them? Or why is the only time I see this so-called friend, why is the only time I see her when I can give her a ride somewhere? Why is that? So, and they will expect it. It's really weird, because if you grew up in an environment that had any type of healthy normalcy, whatever that's worth, but more healthy boundaries, values, understandings. I don't think any family has all of it, but the more of those type of healthy upbringings or situations that you did have, when you're in this situation with the narcissist, it's going to feel so weird. And they're already watching you because you're an empath. And they always look at an empath as a good target. And again, it's the narcissistic supply. What can I get from that person? It's the what can I get from that person and that attitude of entitlement to get what they want from that person, which is you. Entitlement might look like, hey, I'm really low on money this month for my rent. Do you mind if I borrow $100? That might be entitlement. Entitlement might look like you're roommating, you're two heterosexual women, and you go to put your makeup on, and your most favorite eyeshadow ever in the whole universe is not in your makeup bag because the narcissist took it. That's entitlement. Entitlement is going out to the restaurant, eating dinner with a friend, and bringing home your coconut flavored shrimp, putting it in the refrigerator, labeling it, and coming back to eat it. You're really excited, and it's gone because your freaking narcissistic roommate took it. Yeah, that happened to me. Man, I was mad. That's entitlement. It's like there's something in their brain. They don't really have that filter. Or it's like they know what's the right thing to do or what the polite, courteous thing is to do, but they won't do it. It's like I don't like to always blame it on children, like a toddler. You hear that a lot, and there's a lot of truth to it. But toddlers are little, they're children, just their little brains are forming and they're growing. So I feel like it's unfair to compare a narcissist to a toddler. But they know what's the right thing. They won't do it. Entitlement would be having a narcissistic roommate and you decide to go take a nap, you're tired, and then you get up from your nap, you go take a shower, and now you're ready to go for a drive, just a nice little drive, and your car's gone because your narcissist took it. Yeah, that's what they do, man. I actually, wow, come to think of it, I had a similar thing happen to me many, many, many years ago. I don't want to say too many details, but I'll just say this. The narcissist stole my car. Yeah. Got into an accident. It was great. No, it wasn't really great, but that's what they do. It's what they do. It's like all the manners that if you grew up in a household in which you were taught manners, it doesn't necessarily mean that your household's like this perfect place, but you did learn what manners were and what you were supposed to do. Thank you, please, would you mind, courteousness. Narcissists don't really have that. Or if they use that, it's all fake. It's all fake. Or it's to put on a show in front of other people to make it appear that they're just like everyone else when they're absolutely not like everyone else. And they know they're not. So, yeah. A narcissist entitled will just assume that, let's say you're in a romantic relationship, they will assume that you're going to go with them on a date to their Christmas party. They won't ask you. They won't ask you, oh, do you have plans? They will just assume. And they have this way of just bowling over people. You know what I mean? Like coming in like the Tasmanian devil and just coming in telling people what they're going to do. Give me this, give me that. In fact, it is a lot of give me. Give me, give me, give me. Buy me, buy me, buy me. That happens a lot with them. Seriously. And, you tilt your head and you're like, what is going on here? Like, something is off. Like, if you're able to pull yourself back and logically think about it, you say to yourself, why would I be around a person whose only use for me is when I can drive them somewhere, when I can buy them something, when I can babysit for them, when I can dog sit for them, when I can feed this fictitious narrative that they're trying to let everyone around them know about, that they have this perfect family, that you have the perfect shape, that let's say you're real petite and, you throw up in the bathroom 3 times a week to get there. But, you come out in public and you're wearing this beautiful dress and your children look amazing. And, the narcissist is so thrilled because everybody is looking at his pretend family. And then when you guys go home, he loses his temper and he screams at everyone. But the entitlement part is where he will expect you to continue that narrative, no matter how abused you are. So it happens a lot too. They just won't ask you something. Like, I had this experience once. Oh my goodness. This is one of my dates from hell. Like, date from hell. My intuition, I was not listening to my intuition very well. And I don't even know what I was thinking, but I went on this date with this guy, and he was such a creep. First thing he did is he ordered a salad. I believe it was one of those wedge salads. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. And he said, oh, we'll get that salad and we'll split it. Boundary violation. But that's also entitlement. Just so you guys know, I only went on one date and I freaking blocked him and did everything else. It was bad. But that's what entitlement is. Not even having the courtesy to ask me what I wanted to eat. Just order a salad. That was him testing. What can I get away with? That's what they do, man. So, like, the entitlement comes in where they will not ask you what your opinion is. They will not ask you, oh, do you like this shirt or not? Like, because their job is to make you feel lesser than, irrelevant, bad about yourself, shitty about yourself. You know, maybe they want to make you feel fat. Maybe they want to make you feel skinny. Whatever it is. And it could be you've been in this relationship for a while and you put on weight from the stress. They won't ever let you forget it. But their entitlement is they won't ever ask you what you think. They won't ever ask you what your opinion is. They will not ever ask you for input. And if they do, they've already trained you to respond to them exactly the way they want you to respond. Because to them, you are just like a what do you call it? Like a trained dog. Sit, Ubu, sit. And depending on the level of abuse is going to be how much more you get it. But it's the entitlement. I make the rules. I tell you what to do. I pick out your clothes. Always. And if it's a relationship in which you're just starting to know them, let's just say you're friends, but they know what they're doing because it's all manipulation. So they'll do it kind of in levels. They'll do their entitlement actions in levels to test you, to see what you will put up with. And let's just say you've gotten really smart about what abuse is, about what manipulation is, and you don't tolerate any bullshit anymore. They will leave you immediately. Or it could be that you just cut them off. But they know that you know what they are because right away you're setting boundaries. Let's just say you're dating. I'm going to use me. I'm a heterosexual woman. I'm dating a man. We just met recently. We've gone on 2 dates. Everything's, okay. And then this guy, let's call him Rob. Rob calls me up at the very last minute on a Thursday night. Oh, I really need for you to go with me to this work event. And they love to do it at the very last minute because that's a test right there. So let's just say you don't know anything about narcissism or any of this stuff. You're like, oh, I had plans, but, if it's that important to you, I'll go with you. Boom. Then they just got what they wanted. It's boundaries, but it's also entitlement as well. And the longer you're around them, whether they're a family member or whether they are a romantic relationship, the longer that you're with them or you are around them, the more entitlement you will see. It's actually really disgusting to watch. It is. It really grosses me out when I see this. And I often wonder, when you really think about it, if you think about these narcissistic type people and sociopaths, I don't even talk about psychopaths. I don't even have enough information. But we all know we don't want to be around them. But I often think about it. It's like the narcissist cannot really survive, or they cannot really function unless they have been surrounded by the empaths, the kind-hearted, the loving, generous people. And deep down inside, they're very upset because they are not us. If you watch them, you'll see it too. So it's always like this really strange, the entitlement is always this really weird, strange, just expecting, right? It's like say you're over at your family's house, you're all just, talking shop, basic, how's your day going? I'm watching this show, small talk. And the narcissist will just inject you into conversation in front of your parents and your siblings and say, oh yeah, me and Marcia, we're going over to Great America next week, or whatever. Now, mind you, they've never talked to you about this. They never asked you. They didn't know you have a fear of roller coasters and that you hate theme parks. They do stuff like that. And it's like, it's a mixture between, entitlement and narcissistic supply go hand in hand. But also I was going to add in as well, it's the entitlement with the boundary crossing. I actually, if I thought about it a lot, I think the boundary crossing and the entitlement, they kind of, I don't know that they can live without each other. You know what I mean? So, and, like I've said over and over, like if you're really deep into these situations, you're not going to feel it. You're not going to see it. You're not going to know it because you're so deep into the bullshit. And you'll probably be sleep deprived. You'll be getting gaslit so much that you won't even know what is happening in your life, which also adds to exhausting your adrenal glands and all that kind of stuff. And you won't really be able to see what's happening. And then once you really get out of it, that's when you start to see, you start to study, and then you get to be more familiar with these kinds of behaviors, and you will be able to notice it a lot easier. You'll see it. So, yeah, entitlement is, there is no narcissist that exists without entitlement. And it comes in all shapes, sizes, and forms, and all kinds of, like let's say that you're the boss at the job and you have a narcissistic employee, they will stress you the F out. Let's say the narcissist employee is putting in a request for vacation days, and they haven't even been at the job that long. You have to wait a certain amount of time to get a certain amount of vacation days. And how you've usually made it, organized it at your workplace there, is people who have been there a little bit longer, they get a little bit of, first dibs. And then you have to see how many staff you have on and all of that. And, you have peak times. You've got the summer, you've got July, August, September. Certain months are more where people take vacation. So you got to balance it all out. And so you've already had 3 employees put in a request for July 15th through the 30th. And so Mr. Narcissist, he's actually the 4th employee that's put in for these days. And you tell him, unfortunately, that's not going to work because we're too short of staff. And he throws a freaking fit. Throws a fit. So that's the entitlement. So, and if you're smart enough as the boss, you'll find out more about narcissism, and you will try to let that employee go when they're, what is that called? When you're on probation? Yeah. You'll just either let them go or just don't renew the contract, or however it works. So anyways, I hope that gives you guys a good idea. I try to stay on point. I do tend to go off onto, all kinds of subjects. But hopefully that was helpful, and I hope you have a good day. Peace.